Hi everybody, I am JayLeonardJ, and today I'm going to tell you about what I've been working on this year, as well as my top gear picks of 2022. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost midnight here on my last filming day of 2022. Look at this. This is the last video I'm going to film before I take a little bit of a break before the New Year's. And as per tradition, I'm going to do my yearly annual rundown of what I've been up to, a little retrospective of my life of the year, as well as give you my top gear picks of the year. So if you're not interested in what I've been doing this year, you could go look in the description. I'll put like a little clicky thing, like a timestamp. That'll bring you up to the future of this video where I talk about the gear, so you can skip all the middle stuff. So you can do that right now if you want. But if you do want to hear what I've been up to, this is it. My little retrospective. You know, I like doing this because as I get older, I start forgetting stuff more and more. So these little videos actually are really cool to watch for me personally. Just kind of remember certain things and stuff. So when I think of 2022, I would say that the thing that comes to mind the most is just a return to like the stage, live music again, getting back to the blue collar day in and day out on the road, playing music with the team, you know, hanging out, seeing the audiences, hanging out backstage with the band. Really, for me, what life is all about. And after 2 years of, you know, sporadic gigs, I did like a theater run here and there, and like I did a couple other shows, just going back to that, like that slog. It's been really, really fantastic. And when it comes to playing live, the main group that I do a lot of stuff with is actually 4 guys named Jay. We're in a group called Trilogy, and we play a lot of events. We did the Leo Awards this year, which is the Vancouver Film Awards. So, you know, we're doing the bumpers in between speeches and between the skits. We play music and stuff like that. We also played for the Vancouver Canucks at Rogers Arena. So on opening night and a couple other games, we play music at the arena just to get everyone like pumped and ready to drink, drink and like watch hockey. And through that, we've also been playing for the Vancouver Warriors. So, you know, we're the Vancouver Canucks is, you know, NHL, pro sports, the lacrosse league in Canada here. The Pro Lacrosse League has a team called the Warriors. They also play in Rogers Arena, and we've been playing music for them. And that's been fun because we get to go like right on field level. They set up a big stage in a drinking area for the audience and stuff. And yeah, we play music in the intermission. It's so much fun playing at those games with the Vancouver Warriors.
You don't care for me, I don't care about that. I'm your fool, I like it like that. I've only one burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire. Let me stand next to your fire. Let me stand next to your fire. Oh, and let me stand next to your fire. Oh, and let me stand next to your fire.
What's been great about coming back to stage is also you get to play with some of the old people you used to play with. I'm playing with Rosemary Siemens again, which is a bluegrass artist. I get to do like, you know, my 00018 flat picking bluegrass style stuff. I never get to do that anywhere but her gigs. Playing with Warren Flanders, Juno artist, Divine Brown, Juno artist. I started playing with I Am the Living, which is a artist from Britain who's moved to Vancouver. I did a couple shows with him, as well as a video shoot. And an old group I did, Red Eye Empire, we kind of broke up a couple years back, and we had one more show at the Harmony Arts Festival. And just seeing the old guys again, you know, getting a little bit of the dust off of our bones and tuning up some of the old songs. It was really, really cool. It was super, super fun. And that really has really been, you know, all the live music. I think we did, 111 shows this year. So it was really, really good. For me, my favorite time to play is the summer. We did so many summer shows, a lot of festivals and stuff. And again, as a working musician, I think the festivals are the most fun because, you play on the road so long, and you're a musician in the city so long, you start to know everybody, and like hanging out backstage, you get to see the same faces. What do you guys have been working on? And reliving some funny, embarrassing old stories, and, having a little banter and seeing everyone grow up and the new people coming in and who's playing in that band now and stuff. It's just such a wonderful thing. And, being a little kid wanting to be part of that community and now kind of being part of the community and after it being gone for a while, coming back to it, it really makes you appreciate how fortunate it is for me to be a a musician and be able to do that for a living. So that's been really, really good. Personal highlights, I think, the show that was the most fun. We did a Canada Day show, which was great. It was like this outdoor event, and we got the horn section in for that one. But for me, my favorite show was at the very end of the summer. It was at the P&E, which is like the fair we have in Vancouver. And it was the closing day of the P&E, which usually in Vancouver signifies the end of the summer. It's like right before school starts. And they had, at the final end of the night, they had the closing, Shaka Khan and Patti LaBelle did a show. And then there was the big fireworks display. And then we went on. And then we were the person to close the fair. And we were playing the music. We had the thing. And, because it was the last night of the fair, a lot of friends of ours that are musicians, really busy people, Marie Huey and Don Pemberton, old, really good friends, and people we love playing with, they all crashed the stage. And we just had this big impromptu jam session on the PNE stage, and just having your friends there, and it kind of being at the end of the summer and this wonderful thing, nighttime, and everyone kind of saying goodbye before you get to the fall. It was a real special thing. Just, again, live music, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful treat. So outside of the live music, there's lots of other things we've been up to. A couple highlights obviously would be something like NAMM. NAMM came back, and we went out to NAMM with the boys, and Yamaha had me come up, and I was one of the artists for Yamaha. So I did, I think, about 3 performances for them, and they were absolutely fantastic. They made me feel like a rock star. They had this big booth up on the top. The stage was right in the middle, and they set us up there, and I had a big banner. Oh my gosh. And they were so good at making me feel like such a big deal. Like, I had a pretty good ego about myself for about 2 or 3 days after that, But NAMM, again, just like it was great to see your old friends backstage and stuff on the road, it's like, going to NAMM and seeing the builders, the people that you talk to online all year, the YouTubers that you've been talking to, or you hung out with before, or you've always wanted to meet and stuff like that, and just reconnecting and putting in, a name or a face to all of those text messages or DMs. It's always so great. I had specific fun at the Martin party. They had a big Martin after party, and they had this wonderful restaurant, and they, instead of eating at a buffet kind of line thing, they actually took us to the kitchen, and we were just getting the food off the pan and the pots and the ovens and stuff. Oh, it's just great memories. I love NAMM. It is probably one of the best times of the year, and we're definitely doing it next year as well. And big thanks to Yamaha for having me come out to that. Another thing, actually, speaking of Yamaha on Line 6 and stuff, I went down to Cosmo Music this year, and Cosmo Music is the largest music store in Canada, and it was actually really cool to go down there. They had me come down because they were opening up a whole wing of the guitar department dedicated to Yamaha. So I came down there. I was doing a lot of Revstar stuff, and I did a couple videos for Cosmo Music, and they were, again, really fantastic. Again, really great at pumping up my ego. I went down to Yamaha, and they had a studio there, and I filmed a thing for their Y440 series, talking about a little bit about my approach to music and stuff like that. And it was just really fantastic stuff. Lots of, even though I was outstage too, like a lot of videos keeping on going on. My final total for the shows and stuff. So I said 111 gigs. We did 64 YouTube videos and 47 Patreon videos. So, oh my gosh, all in all, really great year. Really fun, and really special. Lots of really cool stuff. Making videos for radio, and what else I have on my list here? Just being in the studio with a couple good friends and all this stuff. So that's, I'm gonna leave it there. That's enough of my my talking about my personal life and all that stuff. Let's get into the gear. That's what we're gonna do now. All right, so as cool as this year has been, going back and playing music and seeing my old friends and everything like that, it has been equally as fun getting some really cool gear in the room. So what we're going to do this year, I'm going to go with my top 3 favorite pieces of gear that came in this door. So it has to be stuff that I played, had to be stuff that came in this year, or was released this year. And so this is my list. So before we get into the list, I have 2 honorable mentions. And the reason why they're honorable mentions is any other year or any other situation, they would probably be my pick of the year. But because of the fact that these two things were released, actually not this year, they were released before. I got them this year, but they weren't released this year, kind of disqualifies them. But like, these are just so exceptional, I had to bring them up. So the first thing to talk about is this guitar over here. This is my Macmull Heartbreaker. I think if you've watched my page, you've seen me play this guitar a lot. This came in this year. And you've also heard me mention a Heartbreaker quite a bit, because actually a Heartbreaker was one of my picks for Gear of the Year a while back, because I just really, really love Macmull Heartbreakers. I think they're fantastic guitars. And it's also a thing where every single Macmull Heartbreaker I've ever played has been awesome. And that's really cool, because I could only name a handful of makers where it's like I could just pick a random guitar they make off the wall and it's really amazing. And that really is a testament to the quality, the attention to detail, and they really got this just right. This is an ash body, I believe, rosewood neck. We got some maple here, and this really cool burst finish, and it is so incredibly resonant. It's just absolutely beautiful. I did do one swap. I swapped out the bridge just to give myself a little, make it easier for me to get around the lip when I'm doing certain playing techniques. So this is more of a lipless bridge. But beside that, this thing is pretty bone stock. It is so touch sensitive. It sounds like the ultimate Telecaster. It sounds good unplugged, and then when you plug it in, it is absolutely searing. The bridge pickup is killer. The neck pickup is warm without being muddy. It is voiced absolutely just right. The attention to detail is outstanding, and it is so light. This is a particularly light guitar. It feels like it's just gonna fly off into space every time I pick it up. I definitely want to thank the cats at Macmull. I've been bugging them for a Heartbreaker for years, and they actually just made it happen, and I really want to thank them. Really wonderful piece of gear, and people have been wondering what happened to that blue telly. It's because I've been playing this so much, so it's a testament to how much I've been enjoying this guitar. And again, any other year this would probably be a pick, but it wasn't released this year, so I can't say it. But this is my Macmull Heartbreaker, fantastic runner-up. Here's another one, and again, this wasn't released. This was released last year. And here's another thing. I actually haven't used this in a video yet. This just came in, and I haven't, but man, okay, check this out. This is really special. Oh, this is my Revv Generator 120. I haven't even shown this. This is the first time you've seen it on the page. And again, this was released last year, I think. This is the Mark III, and I love this amplifier. This is absolutely fantastic. It's like, after years of playing like 15 waters, 5 waters, that's the whole trend of stuff. There is something to be said about 100 plus watts of just power, that the tight low end. That's what I miss when it comes to low wattage amps. It's the low end, how tight it is, how it just, how snappy you can get it, how firm it can be, not how deep. Particularly for me, it's more about how together it is, especially when you start piling on the gain, and this thing is absolutely fantastic. 4 channels, and each channel stands out on its own. It's not one of those amps where, that channel's better than that channel, which is better. It's literally, each one stands out on its own, and that is, it's something I don't see. Each one is also a fully featured amp, each channel. They have so many different options and things. This is not an amp for the faint-hearted. I am a guy that plays like 3 knob amps all the time, and the fact that I've fallen in love with this has a lot to say about how incredibly well voiced this thing is, how useful this is. It has a built-in 2 notes cab simulator, which you could use with the app. So I don't even have to use this thing with a speaker. I could use it with headphones. I could plug it direct to the board if I want to. Just so incredibly useful. You could even program presets in this thing. It has a great foot switch, great size, so you can really maneuver around it. And the craftsmanship, the build quality, everything here is just absolutely stunning. I'm gonna tell you a Revv story. Here's a Revv story. So this is a couple years back. I went down to Revv. Have I told this story before? I went down to Revv, and I met the cats there, and hung out at their factory. And I was in their neck of the woods because I was doing a show with this bluegrass artist, and I got there in this like rental white like van thing. So anyway, I went down to their place, and they said, hey, you know, we got tickets to the Winnipeg Jets game. Why don't you come down? So, you know, and, you know, just have a couple drinks and, you know, watch some hockey. Who could say no to that? So I was like, okay, I'm going to leave for a little bit. I'll meet you at the arena. So I got in my car, I start driving, and my GPS just takes me down this absolutely crazy rabbit hole. Like, it was not working right. And again, their factory is like in the middle of like this prairie farmland. So anyway, I'm going the absolute wrong direction. And before you know it, I'm like in this field, like in the middle of this mud filled field, and this van or whatever, this white thing is just getting covered in mud, and I get stuck like completely mud flap in there, not going anywhere. And who am I gonna call? And I don't know anyone else, so I call the cats at Revv. They like they come, he picks me up. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, you're in the absolute wrong place. He picks me up. We end up going to the game together, and while I'm gone at the game, he gets another person on the Revv team to come by with their truck to pull my van or whatever I had rented out of the mud and bring it back to their studio. And oh my gosh, so embarrassing. So embarrassing. But you know, the cats at down there are absolutely fantastic. They're the nicest people you ever meet. They put a lot of love into their product. It shows. And again, you know, as a person that you know, plays simple amps, a person that, you know, this is usually associated with metal musicians, and the fact that I'm not, and I like it so much, it says a lot about how good it is. So anyway, I can't make this a gear of the year because it didn't come out this year, but I'm putting it on I'm mentioning it anyway today. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about my 3 picks of gear of the year. Number 3 is the Revstar, the RSP02T. Now, I've been a user of Revstar for a long time. When they first were released, I was one of the first people that, you know, was really attracted to that and started using that primarily. Like, anytime I needed a Les Paul sound, I got my Japanese Revstar Pro, and that was it. I didn't have a Les Paul. That's all I needed. It was really cool guitar. I love the way it sounds, and I still use it completely to this day. And this year, Yamaha just revamped the entire Revstar line. And you know, a couple came in, and you know, the new line, I will say it's a really cool change what they did. The new Revstars sound less like the ultimate Les Paul and more like their own thing. They're brighter. They're a little bit more articulate. There's a little bit more clarity. And the one that really stuck out to me was the RSP02T. The one, it's like the Japanese Pro model with the P90s. And it was kind of a coin toss between the P91 and the humbucker over which one I picked. But then when I went to NAMM and I was doing the shows, I had both of them, the humbucker and the P90 model. And as I was doing the shows, man, I just kept going back to that P90 one. It was incredible. Because unlike most P90s, it wasn't as throaty or nasally as some of them that I played. It was really articulate and had a lot of clarity to it and had a lot of touch sensitivity, and I could be so dynamic with it. But then I could also just strum and rock out with it. I found the balance to be fantastic. Like they changed the bodies, and it really sits on the lap much better. It's a little bit bigger of a body, but the way it's kind of weighted now, I don't get the neck dive that you'd get on the older Revstar Pros. It's also chambered, which I actually really dig. I remember Gibson, was it 2007 or something like that? They started chambering their Les Pauls, and I loved those Les Pauls. In fact, I'm still trying to find one of those chambered Les Pauls. Everyone hated them, but I thought they were amazing. And the Revstar is chambered, and they did something with the chambering, and it really sounds good. There's carbon fiber on the body and on the neck to reinforce it. There's stainless steel frets. It plays really fantastically. Really great. The pickups are fantastic, and they have this burst, like this sunburst, where instead of it kind of being on the outside and going in, it's kind of a horizontal. It's like a gradient through it, and it just looks absolutely stunning. And the thing about these Revstars is, man, they got really popular for absolutely great reasons. They're priced really well. They're super well featured, and they're really fantastic guitars. And they were so popular that, you know, Yamaha didn't make enough, and it's almost impossible to get one. And it's so impossible that, like, me, who, like, I've been doing events for Yamaha, you know, all year in clinics, and, like, I don't even have my Revstar. Like, I would be holding the guitar right now, but even I don't have the guitar, which is a testament to how popular the series is. But it's a fantastic choice. It's the Yamaha RSP 02T, really, really fantastic P90 guitar. So that's pick number one. So that's the next thing, the next piece of gear on my list of my top three is this one over here. Let me see. Reach down. This is the J.M.A. Machines Chief Disruptor. And man, this came at the very beginning of the year, and I said in my Patreon review that this is already my, like, I played it, I was like, this might pretty much be my fuzz of the year. This is just that good. I love it. One of the things that I love the most when it comes to gear and what I look for is, you know, a lot of people get caught up on, you know, being true to the vintage, or people going, you know, trying something that no one's ever tried before. Me, I love the mixing of the old and the new. When you get something established, something we all love, and take it to that next level. That's why pedals like the Benson Fuzz last year was my pick of the year. And this is exactly why I love this. At its heart, it's a big muff. But if you're a vintage purist, you're gonna not like this pedal at all, because it is a big muff, but it has an active EQ. It has a mid-cut boost, has an expression pedal, a top boost, has 3 different sound modes, and a clean blend. And the clean blend even has a post and a pre, so you could have that clean sound shaped by the EQ or not. It even has a little button here to boost the mid. So it is, and once you start adding all those things, it stops being so much like a muff clone and more like its own thing, an ideal muff. This is kind of the muff that I always hear in my head and that I want my big muffs to sound like, but the big muffs never really do. You know what I mean? Going to that tight setting and just getting that active EQ alive. It's almost like having that David Gilmour lead sound without needing to put that color sound overdriver in there. Like, that's not needed. It's all in this one unit. You can get tight, articulate, big muff pie sounds that has that nice sustain and those nice harmonics and that fullness, but while still being able to have a modern EQ, being able to fit in the band, being able to have a tactile response, to be able to have a little bit of clarity in between the notes. It's incredibly useful for a live player, incredibly useful in the in the studio, because of all the wonderful things it can do. It looks absolutely stunning with the gold and everything like that. And as a person, it's really funny because as a person that likes simple things, simple amp, simple pedals, like the two things I talk about today, this amp and like these things have so many knobs, but the knobs here are so intuitive to use. There's millions of great sounds, and unlike pedals that have lots of knobs in it, it's actually very easy to reproduce the sounds. So it's not one of those things that I find my great setting and then, you know, you change it and you can never find that setting again. The knobs are so intuitive and so well voiced. I know I can just go to certain sounds very, very quickly, very, very easily. There's always a sound in here that could almost fit any situation. You can even get overdrive sounds out of this. An incredibly versatile, incredibly fun, incredibly dynamic big muff pie. It is a great, great pedal, and I had so much fun playing with it. It's the Chief Disruptor by J.M.A. Machines. And now, finally, for my final pick, my piece of gear of the year, and this one is really cool because this came at the very beginning of the year, and this one was one of the last pedals I did, and it's right over here. This pedal is the my pick of the year. It's the OPFXS or OPFX. I think that's how you pronounce it. Electric Vibe Phaser. Now, this is upside. Oh no, that's right. Now, the thing about me is, if you've watched my reviews of other phasers or vibe pedals, I love the way vibe pedals sound. I love the way they sound. I love what I hear when I hear myself playing it, but I don't particularly enjoy the playing experience of a phaser, because when I play with a phaser, I feel like I'm a slave, or a vibe pedal, I feel like I'm a slave to the LFO. You know, the LFO has its rate. I could speed it up and I could slow it down with an expression pedal, that's fine. But I'm always at the mercy. And say I want to have a big note, like my big solo, and I hit that solo note, that high thing, peak of my solo, but just by happenstance, I'm at the bottom of the waveform of that LFO. Well, then I lose my punch and it's not there. And that's why when I play vibe pedal, I always play very legato and open and sustained and stuff like that. I can't be articulate. I can't be razor's edge with it until this pedal that came in, which changed my whole approach to vibes, my whole approach to this effect in general, and really opened my eyes up to stuff. So there's a setting here, sine wave, and you can set it so that the LFO is triggered by your playing. So that means when I play, it triggers the LFO, which means when I'm hitting that note, I'm always on the right side of the LFO when I turn it on. I hit it, it triggers it, I'm at that sweet spot, and then the vibe happens after. Now I'm controlling the pedal. The pedal's not controlling me, and I can get all those notes and I can get that attack that I want at the beginning of my phrases or at those high points and not worry about being trapped there. It's an incredible, subtle thing, but it is a game changer. In my way, I get the sound of the vibe that I love, but then I also get, you know, the tactile response that I need. Now, that alone's cool, but then it takes it to another level where you can actually trigger the speed and depth, or either or at the same time with your playing dynamics. That means when I play soft, I could have it be slow. When I play hard, it can be fast, or I could switch it. Or if I play, you know, soft, it can be a shallow modulation. And then when I play hard, it goes deep. And now, you know, as opposed to being a slave to anything, I'm actually playing this pedal. I'm shaping stuff. I can, like, you know, set this thing up, you know, dynamically, where when I hit a note, like a sustained note, I'll have like a slow, you know, big, when I play really loud, I'll have like this big slow thing, you know, but then as my note decays and you know, what will happen is it'll start to speed up. So the tails of my long sustained notes, it's moving and it's changing dynamically. Or like, say I want, you know, my vibe to be really subtle when I'm playing slow passages. And then when I dig in, it starts getting really deep and throbby. Like again, and then I put on that sine wave, and now it's not just being deep and throbby, but it's triggering when I'm triggering it. I cannot play another Univibe style pedal now that I've played this. This has completely changed my whole approach to. This has been the greatest Univibe playing experience I've ever had in my whole life. I could say that. Not since the first time I played a Univibe pedal, because it was the first time I played a Univibe pedal and it sounded awesome. But like just this, I don't think I could play another Univibe style pedal. This is just too fun to play. It's so dynamic. It is so fun. The only thing I really wish it had is, you know, it has a direction toggle here. I wish there was a separate one for each of these, so I could actually have the direction go opposite for the speed and depth if I wanted it to be that way. That's really the only thing that's holding it from being absolutely, like, you can't touch it, but it sounds great. It feels great to play. It's very unique, and just like that general trend over this year, it gets something that we know, we love, we know sounds great, and takes it to the next level and does something different with it. This is why this is my #1 gear pick of 2022. And just like that, I guess that's it. That's my final video of 2022. Thank you all so much for watching. Before I go, I want to take a very short little break here and just thank every single one of you that watches these videos, every single one of you that comments on the videos and appreciates what we do, especially the people on Patreon that open up their wallet and they help keep the lights on here, and they support the page financially. It's like, it's incredibly humbling. It means so much to me. And you don't know how great it is to know that what I do here, you guys enjoy the videos. You guys are feeling inspired by the videos, that you people are, wanting to play or finding little tonal secrets on how how I tweak pedals, and maybe take some cues on how I play and steal my licks. I love it when people tell me they're stealing my licks, and I love it when people tell me their stories of how they were trying to find something and my video helped them out. It's really, really cool. I got into this because of my love of pedals and love of amps and love of guitars, and my wanting to share that with all of you, and the fact that so many of you have been so supportive of that, and so many of you have been part of that journey with me. It means so much. So thank you for all you people out there subscribing, the Patreon subscribers, all the people, the vendors, all of you for keeping music alive, keeping the tone search and listen, and constantly inspiring me to do better and push forward. So thank you again. That being said, that's it. I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye. Happy New Year.